Well, this year's conference is being held in Paris on the 6th and 7th of December, and is being held with and at the headquarters of the OECD. Now, the OECD is an enormously important international institution which deals with economic policy, with innovation, with really thinking about how the world can continue to have economic growth and prosperity, but within sustainable limits.
I think this conference in December is an immensely exciting opportunity for the OECD. It's a real experiment for us. It's the first time that, particularly in this area, in the biosciences and genomics, that we've brought a broad body of social scientists together with policymakers at the time that the policymakers have to take some decisions. And the social scientists here at the conference will be debating the very issues that the policymakers will then be going off to reflect on and decide upon.
When we were planning the conference with the OECD, we wanted to have two very clear themes that weren't very restrictive, but where people could get a kind of a picture of what was at stake. And so the two themes that we've come up with are called knowledge, markets and networks, and biodigital futures.
This conference in December is an enormous opportunity both for the OECD and for the participants who are coming. And the reason is it helps us do something very innovative and new, which is to bring social scientists further upstream into the public policy making process. We think that can have very positive benefits for the policies themselves as they're being made. It's also the opportunity to introduce, in some respects, these communities to one another, because many public policy makers, while they understand the importance of social science, they don't actually have the kinds of ongoing relationships with social scientists themselves. And so we'd like to help build those bridges, and that's why we think this conference is very significant.
People should attend this conference because they will learn a lot about what's going on in the area the network works in, that's to say the social studies of contemporary biotechnology.
We're going to have a room full of the researchers and the policymakers all talking together, all communicating. And I think for anyone interested in this area, you can't turn it down. It's just too good an opportunity to pass up.
We want to get a balance of voices. We want to get the user perspective, we want to get the social science perspective, we want to get the scientific perspective, and hopefully that'll produce a good dialogue.
You know, we're putting together lots of different workshops and lots of different types of kind of roundtable discussions and debates and so on that will hopefully get some really interesting discussions happening, and, you know, who knows where it will lead for the future.
I hope that the Genomics Network will be able to demonstrate the value of social science research into the life sciences and genomics. So I think if we can convince people that there is a lot, that there are some valuable perspectives and there's a lot to be gained from taking these kinds of research findings on board, I think hopefully we'll have done our job.
The fact that we're at the OECD headquarters as well means that we can attract people from all over the world, from industry, from regulators, governments, as well as academics and UK specialists. So it's a huge opportunity for us this year.
I think the OECD hopes to gain primarily three things from this conference. The first is a very substantive thing. The part of the OECD that deals with biotechnology is called the Working Party on Biotechnology. That group will meet, they will participate in the conference, and they will meet immediately after the conference to take some decisions about some of the substantive themes that we will have dealt with in the conference. And these decisions should be well informed by that conference debate. If that's the case, that's a really important substantive outcome. The second is an experiment in form. We are generally not very good in policy environment at taking experience from the social sciences and weaving that into our policy decision making. So we want to see whether this conference back-to-back and integrated with the decision-making process is a form that might work. If it is, then we would like to explore that in other fields. The third is simple longer-term relationship building. We're bringing here together a group of very eminent social scientists from around the world. We're performing an experiment with them. If that works, the social science problems and challenges won't go away, but hopefully we'll have developed a relationship with that cadre of scientists that we can build on in the future.
Well, what we would see as a chief legacy to come from the conference is better relationships between the two communities, between the social science community and the public policy community. We'd like to see the social science community more integrated into the public policy work and integrated at an earlier stage in the policy development process. So that's what we're really looking for, is to take that first big step to bring the social science work further upstream into the policy arena.